If you are the casual gamer, then you probably can't play this game at a very high level. And this game from the start comes with a learning curve. When you first get into the game of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you have to understand the maps, the character strengths and weaknesses, and perks and abilities. Those are just the basics. So then it comes down to, is this game worth the buy? If you might be a below average gamer due to the lack of playing time. I mean, let's face it, as much as we want to believe we're going to crush it out there and escape from the family as the victims or get some cruising kills as the family, it never turns out that way, do it? We all come across those gamers that play the game at a very high level or just extremely talented at the game, and there's nothing we can do about that. But there are things about Texas Chainsaw Massacre that makes the game enjoyable to play. So if you are on the fence about buying the game, I do want to let you know that there is a learning curve at the beginning. But it's not too far out of line with any other asymmetrical horror game you might have played. One of the reasons why I say it's a learning curve is because sprinting for the victim is a different button input than if you were sprinting as a killer. Then you must interact with things around the environment, but have the right angle in order to push that command or it won't show up. But once you learn the movement of the game, this becomes a little easier. The game gives a variety of customization options when it comes to building your character to your liking. The only clothing options are for the victims and Leatherface. They are pre-made outfits, but you still get some type of character customization. On top of the clothing, you also have perks and abilities to gain as you work up the skill tree. Then after you unlock your abilities, you will have 3 levels to level up those abilities as well. So it's a lot of things to shoot for in this game that will hold your attention outside of playing the game itself. But the game will still need to add new maps, new characters, and different exits, because the game is starting to become too easy for these high level gamers, which could take away some of the fun. Now, if you are finding this video helpful, remember to hit one of those engagement buttons. Remember I told you about the learning curves about the game? Well, you may have difficulty with learning the map and memorizing where things are at, because it's easy to get turned around in the basement if you're playing the killer or the victim. Playing outside is a little more pleasant to navigate, but there's a lot of ground to cover. But with all that being said, you still can enjoy yourself if you think of it as exploring and enjoying new things about the map on your own. But playing as a victim, you do risk of getting caught by the killer if you're not quiet enough or have trouble escaping in general. After everybody else escapes, you have nobody to follow. Playing a killer and not having some kind of map awareness will result in more victims escaping than you like to see, because you wouldn't know how to patrol the exits. So it's a lot of work on both ends. If you want a little help on navigating maps, I would suggest watching Bloodthirsty Lord. He knows how to navigate a map and knowledgeable about the game. But let's face it, trolls are everywhere in the game, even Friday the 13th, Dead by Daylight, hell, even Evil Dead. Well, they are starting to get out of hand and at full force in Texas Chainsaw Massacre as well. In one of my matches, Julie and Leland was at the gate, and you know Leland has his special shoulder tackle, and you can't defend it as a family member. So she ran around. I'm chasing her because I'm figuring she's easier to kill than Leland if they're gonna play around. I got so caught up, she ran me into Leland, and bam, Leland hit me and put me on my ass. If you are the casual gamer, you are probably gonna run into this, and you probably might get a little upset, because I would tell you from first-hand experience, these victims will be at the exit before you know what happened, which is why communication is key as the family, and I would dare to say more valuable on the family side. So you will need some thick skin to play as a family member or a victim. If you don't mind being on the comms, then it's way better to communicate with your team to escape or catch the victims. This will reduce the loss ratio for you in this game. Overall, I think the game is about for casual gamers, because Texas Chainsaw Massacre gives you the feeling of 2 different worlds. You can choose to have people run from you as you try to kill them, or test your stealth and smarts against killers that are out to get you. The perks and skill trees are a good time to mess with and to plan your unlocking route up a skill tree. There are some pretty nice perks and abilities that can make your character fit what you do best as well. Either that's killing, hiding, running fast, harvesting for grandpa, you name it. With upcoming DLC that the game should have, and what the community is hoping for right now, because the game will be around for a while. Welcome to Mr. Unleashed World.